This is Justin Amazon on Wednesday, February 6th, 2019, with a look at the rallying pre-market on Amazon, crossing past the 1665 line that we've got in here, and with yesterday being a bullish candle, and we're gapping up today. That makes a bullish retest gap. So it's like, all right, let's see how far we'll retest. Let's see if we can come into 1665 and get a bounce. And we just throw this small candle up here, smaller than we had to open on Monday, smaller than we had to open on Tuesday, and really small and a bearish candle. It's like, okay, it's supposed to retest. That's fine. Let's see if we can come a little bit further down, and we do. But this one doesn't really slow down at 1665 like I was looking for it to do. It kept pushing down all the way back down to kind of the closing price just about for yesterday. It's like that makes me a little bit uncomfortable that it broke that so easily, and that candle seems so strong. This kind of breakdown of this line is stronger than this one, where it actually rallied back up to close the candle and then bounced. But it's like, okay, let's see if we can still get a bounce. In the very next candle, we do. We come right back up to 1665, which is great, but like that doesn't really help me think it's going to continue on higher. The other interesting thing is right down here, the 1675 call was worth about $10. It's like, okay, this is a little too good to be true. I like getting in at 10 by 9, and could buy down here 10 by 9, but I don't like that I need to get back up to 1665. I wanted to hold that. The next candle, inverted hammer. The wick up here, I could have flipped the 1675 call expiring Friday, bought at 10, exited at 12. That would have worked. But that's all it would have done. And I'm going to jump over to the call to show you what happened. See, 10 by 9, that would have worked. Flipped it out at 12. That would have been great. But then it just plummeted the rest of the day. That was really the only bullish trade for this being a bullish retest gap. So obviously I showed you the option. Here's what happens on the stock, and it just keeps moving down. In the next 20 minutes, we make a bearish engulfing candle. Let's see, did we actually get below it 20 minutes later? The low here is 1643.46, and the low here is 1642.50. Okay, sorry, 25 minutes later. All right, we have made a bearish engulfing candle. Now, I thought this was going to gap up and rally and just continue on higher. And I was wrong. And had I tried to trade this 10 by 9 with the call, I don't know that I would have been exiting at 12, because that I would have been up 2R in just 10 minutes. And it's like, okay, let's hold out for a little bit more. And I would have been stopped. I probably would have actually had some slippage on this, and I probably would have been getting out. So if I had set it up 10 by 9, it probably would have gotten me out somewhere a little bit below 9, maybe 875, maybe 854, the actual low. And I would have lost, that's just my guess, is that I would have had slippage on the stop at 9. And probably would have lost more than an R, or about an R, had I, been able to actually hit the exit price exactly, on a stop order. But a stop order turns into market order, so you don't know what exactly the exit price is going to be, but you don't want to have a stop limit, because then you may not get out. So anyway, this was the move of the day. So it was a phenomenal inverted hammer right here. Like, that, I guess, is what I should have realized at the moment, is like, that's a really good candle to say we're not going any higher, and flip the idea around to go bearish right here, or be exiting the call right there. It's like, that doesn't look good. Get out, and maybe snagged half an R gain or something as it plummets, something like that. So then the puts, as this is forming, if you could get in on puts right here, those took off. So the 1665 put, I'm sorry, the 1650 put could have been getting in 9 by 8 down here, and that just flew. 9 by 8 went up by 15R or whatever. So over the course of the next 30 minutes. So I know I'm bouncing back and forth between the stock 5-minute and the option 5-minute. I don't normally do that, but it just kind of worked for this. So all of this chop, like people were thinking, oh, it's going to do something. I was looking at it around 12:30 thinking, I like this consolidation here. And then I remembered usually on Wednesdays around 1 o'clock, there's some sort of Fed thing. I didn't know if it was today or not. It's like, I'm not going to get into something at 12:30. And I'm glad I didn't, because it just kind of slowly rolled over. I mean, I would have made a little bit maybe had I held through the 1 o'clock, but I don't like to, take that risk on Wednesdays when I don't know if there's a Fed thing or not. So anyway, this, having 3 really small candles in here was great to see right around 12:30. And then to see it roll over, it's like, yeah, that worked. Okay, I missed it. Good to recognize the opportunity. It would have worked. So let's see what would have happened on the puts here to see if that was worth doing. So I'm looking at the 1650 puts. It got really tight in these candles. So it was right in here. You could have been buying for like 19 by 18, and that moved up to 21, eventually 22. So that could have been 2 or 3R. That would have been nice. And then, maybe go out a little further to the 1625 puts. And so that was these candles in here. So that went from, 8 by 7, that only went up to 9. So that would have only been an R. So not a great place to be buying right in here. If we go back to this one, 1650. Let's see what else we could have done here. So yeah, the inverted hammer was this, essentially this candle at 8:45, right? This candle, 8:45, yeah. We didn't really slow down at any level in here. We came this far down. The next line, 16, 17, 54, didn't get there. And we retraced some. That would have been the only other place to go bullish, I think, but didn't really do it with the 1675 call. So that would have needed to be probably the 1650 call. When you're that far away and it's a Wednesday, it works to get a little bit closer. So let's see what we're looking at here. Yeah, that it's just a little bit too wide. These candles are 1 to 2 points on the range, and so that would have been a little bit harder. Ironically, it came down to 10. The low on the 1650 call was 10, and then from there it ran up to 14, even 15. So that would have been a quick 5R to have just gotten in at 10, and then maybe trying to do 10 again wouldn't have worked. It just didn't have the bullish rallying you'd like to see off of the low down here. But that would have been buying that low. That would have been really difficult to do. There's not any value down here. What's the low? 16, 33, 34. I mean, I guess we came down. No, I don't see anything in here that would really stand out to say, yeah, buy there. It's just at that point, it's the only thing you'd have going for you is the exhaustion. You got a lot of volume. You have this bullish candle. It's trapping those bulls, and you just flash down here pretty quickly on good volume. This could totally continue. I mean, it rested with a bullish engulfing candle. It rested, and then it bounced from there. So I guess the only thing here is that it just be extended, and this is exhaustion volume on these 2 candles here to say, okay, it's done going lower. But you would have needed that candle to form, most of it, in order to say, oh, I'm going to go bullish now, and then get in right as this candle opened. So at 9:25, on the call. 925 buying here. So that's buying at like 11 by 10. I guess that's possible. But again, you don't know which way it's going as this candle is forming. You don't know what's going to happen right here as it starts to sell off and then climbs and comes back down. Within that 5 minute, you'd have to be looking at smaller time frame to figure out when the right time is to get in or out. Another opportunity to go bearish was up here or up here. So let's see, you probably would have seen the indecision candle here saying that could mark the end of a rally. And that's at 950, and then waited for it to go up to retrace at 1005. So let's look at the put again. At 950, the range on that is more than $1, and then waiting till 1005, you're pulled back into that range. So I mean, this could have worked. Getting it set up like 1650 by 1550, that would have worked for a few R. Going from 1650 up to 2050, 2150, so, not quite 2150, something like that. Or for, that's, look at the 1625 point again. So that would have been, let's see, 7 by 6 here, and then at 1005, 1010, yeah, it retraced 7 by 6, so that could have worked here, and then you would have been getting out at 9 or 10, yeah, 9. So it could have been a nice 2R right there. So that's taking this bearish for 2R, and then just getting out because it just chopped sideways and didn't do anything. And yeah, you would have lost your opportunity to get out for the 2R. I mean, you would have kind of had it through here, 7 by 6, getting out at 9. So that worked within the first, 15 minutes, but then you would have had to kind of battle back up to it through here. So I don't know if that would have actually worked out nicely or not. But anyway, that's how the options are relating, looking for dollar risk and just getting into the option that seems appropriate when you have some key candles. So here's a key candle here, here's a key candle here, going bearish, and then the really small candles here, again, going bearish. Bullish, a little bit harder today. You would have been needing to look for the option price I like to look for at 10, got it here and flipped it at 12. So you're out before it does this sell-off. And then once you're way down here and you're exhausted, trying to buy on these candles for a quick turnaround. I mean, there's no reason that this had to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bullish candles in a row, to retrace this after it made only 5 bearish in a row. It doesn't have much bullishness going for it to get in bullish down here. And it's just interesting. It did this little thing and then just went sideways for like 4 hours, right? So yeah, 8:30 to 10:30, it was moving all through here. And then from, probably the 1020 price, or I'm sorry, the 1020, at 1020, the price, the close was 1639.02. That's pretty much, so let me highlight that way. Yeah, all of this was pretty much just, chopping around on this price around 1640, 1639, just chopped, just didn't do anything. It just chopped all day long, barely moving much at all. But back to the daily, something's going on here, like to have a bearish engulfing like this. The last time we had a bearish engulfing, let's see if we can find one, was probably this one after a small candle. So that continued lower. If I miss one, I'm sorry. You're welcome to tell me if I did. I don't see another bearish engulfing on this chart. So I'd have to go back in time a little bit more to see. Did it do anything kind of bearish engulfing? What was the last one? Maybe here. So it was the high. Yeah, probably here. That was the last time it did it. Now it did it that time. Let's see what's in common. I'm going to forget which one that was now. I moved the chart now. I forgot which one it was. Somewhere in here. I'm sorry. Gosh, where'd it go? That was way up here. Bearish engulfing, bearish engulfing. Somewhere in here. Well, anyway, I was just trying to compare to see, maybe what kind of level we're at. Sitting, if we're close to sitting on the 21 like we are now. So that one, no. Gosh, I can't believe I did that. I lost what candle it was. So maybe it's something that really doesn't matter. Maybe it does. Oh, this. Here we go. These two. The high 1955, the high 1957. We are interacting very nicely with the 21 and the 5 right here. This is kind of reminiscent of being pretty sideways, I think we're a little stronger here, coming off an all-time high and trying to get back to it. Coming back this far to consolidate was our first time kind of revisiting some of these levels, like coming back down to this one. We had just come back down to it and kind of bounced off it here, and then we go sideways for 5 more days and then form this bearish engulfing that immediately reverses. So we've been sideways for quite a bit. We have up here, we have this no man's land, and then this no man's land we mostly stayed out of, got into a little bit here. And here we've been hardly in the upper one and then mostly in the lower one. So it's kind of a flip of what was going on up here. What else is going on? Obviously, we just done an all-time high, retraced a little bit, so the highs are a little bit backwards. This was a lower high than this one. This is a higher high than this one, and then we form that candle pretty soon after. So there could be some similarities. I do like the proximity to the channel. The proximity for this price to here is similar to this price to here. I know we're inside the channel here, we're outside of it here, so it's kind of just a different setup where it could be moving. But I don't know. I keep looking at this thinking it feels like we're doing a lane change. Like we're going to get into another channel somewhere up in here. Oh, I forgot I still had that duplicated. That was cool. Something like that. And, we could just continue changing lanes on this, going back up to, 1900 or so eventually, but got to take it one day at a time. And today, I probably would have been, I was definitely wrong in the direction. I probably would have lost an R or so. Instead, I was watching it, talking myself out of the trade, saying, this is a little too good to be true, buying 10 by 9, and then seeing this happen, wishing I had gotten embarrassed. And I didn't have the chart up to see that we were actually doing an evening star reversal. We're doing this inverted hammer right here on this line. Otherwise, that kind of would have been a no-brainer. The way that we interacted with 1754 down here, the way we were interacted with 1665, 27 here and here. I mean, it makes sense to have a very similar overshot sort of thing. It kind of balanced out this one to this one, and sorted this one too. The high here is pretty much where we got to pre-market today. So anyway, I hope that helps. I don't think I mentioned this, but this 1777 and 77 cents, I don't know if that's a real wick. This is reacting to earnings, or reacting that there is some sort of earnings activity going on, and so it kind of spiked and then it shot down, and then spiked kind of into both directions. Then we ended up rolling over, gapping down. But I don't know if that price is accurate or not. From here, we have some momentum. We could break down a little bit. It'd be great to see if we break down and tomorrow hit 1578.25. I'm not calling it. I'm just saying that'd be really cool if that did happen. And the bearish setup we've got today with the bearish engulfing really allows that. It would kind of say, well, it could get down there. Because it's a bearish engulfing, it carries a little more momentum. It's a good place to tighten up your stops if you're bullish, and get ready to go short if you're bearish. And so we'll see tomorrow where things are at, and how we're going to move out of here. I do like that for 4 days here we've been in this range. It's a really nice stair step, and I mean, it's kind of bookended with a bearish candle, rise in the middle. So this is this is bookended. This is looking stronger to be bearish, and you kind of secondary retest of the bearish gap and go that it formed on that was earnings. That was Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah. So bookends with this. We'll see if it can continue lower from here, or if it's going to have any sort of holding power right at the 21. It is nice that it stopped there at the 21 today. So I guess we will review again tomorrow. And in the meantime, continue to watch the 5 minute. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is just AMZN. Thanks.